Have you ever felt like someone close to you is slowly wearing you down? Maybe you can't pinpoint exactly why, but something about their presence drains your energy, confuses your mind, and leaves you second-guessing your every move. Well, here's the hard truth. Not everyone who enters your life has your best interests at heart. Some people, especially certain women, may seem sweet or charming at first, but they're actually masters at manipulating your emotions, wearing down your spirit, and slowly destroying your inner peace. What if I told you that these toxic people might be closer than you think? It's not just about betrayal or backstabbing, it's the subtle, often invisible ways they chip away at your confidence, your joy, and your sense of self. We've all been there, dealing with someone whose presence feels like a dark cloud that never lifts. And while we try to push it aside, we can't help but feel off, out of balance, uncertain, and constantly exhausted. Now, imagine you could spot these signs before it's too late. What if you could identify the subtle behaviors that scream toxic, even when they're disguised as kindness or friendship? Well, today, we are going to uncover the 7 clear signs that an evil woman may be right next to you. This isn't about jumping to conclusions or casting blame. It's about clarity. Clarity about your worth, your emotional safety, and the toxic energy that might be slipping under your radar. You deserve peace, and you deserve to protect your inner world from those who seek to destroy it without you even realizing. Life is too short to waste on negativity, so let's clear the fog together. It's time to stop second-guessing your instincts and start trusting your own power. In the next few minutes, we'll dive deep into how to spot these signs and take control of your life again. This is your chance to wake up, protect your peace, and reclaim your happiness. Trust me, once you see these signs for what they are, you'll feel an immediate sense of relief. You'll finally be able to say goodbye to the toxic people who don't deserve your time or energy. Are you ready to take control? Let's dive in. Tom met her at a party, and like many before him, he was struck by her story. She was a woman who seemed to have lived through an endless stream of tragedies. From the man who betrayed her to the friends who abandoned her. Every person in her life had wronged her in some way. At first, Tom felt sorry for her. He saw a woman in pain, someone who had been hurt and needed someone to listen, someone to help her heal. He listened attentively as she poured out her heart, sharing her long list of grievances. It was easy to sympathize with her, to want to step in and make things right. But as time passed, something started to feel off. Tom realized that no matter how many times he helped her through a crisis, there was always another one waiting around the corner. She never stopped being the victim, never stopped talking about how everyone had wronged her. The stories never ended. The more Tom tried to offer support, the more she demanded, and when he tried to disagree or give advice, he was met with hostility. He was either her hero, reassuring her that she was right, or the villain, questioning her pain. In time, he felt like he was walking on eggshells, constantly adjusting his behavior to avoid setting her off. This was the first sign of the toxic woman in his life, the perpetual victim. Asterisk. She was never responsible for her actions, never to blame for the chaos in her life. It was always someone else's fault, her exes, her friends, even random strangers who had crossed her path. At first, Tom thought it was just a pattern of bad luck, that maybe she had just encountered a series of difficult people. But as time wore on, he realized that her story was a tool, a strategy. She was playing the victim to manipulate those around her, including him. And here's the thing. It's easy to fall for it. We all want to help those who are suffering. We all want to believe that someone who's been through so much deserves a little compassion. But what Tom learned the hard way is that being in a relationship with someone who plays the victim all the time isn't about healing. It's about control. It's about draining the emotional resources of everyone around her until there's nothing left. Stoic lesson. Asterisk. Marcus Aurelius once said, asterisk, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. I would add to that, asterisk, it also depends on the company you keep. A person who constantly dwells in victimhood, who never takes responsibility for their actions, will exhaust you. They'll pull you into a cycle of rescuing them, only to leave you empty, confused, and questioning your own reality. The true act of wisdom in these situations isn't cruelty. It's the ability to recognize this toxic pattern and walk away from it. Stepping back doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about your own peace and well-being to not let their toxic energy destroy yours. It's not a betrayal, it's a reclaiming of your own power. A stoic act of choosing your emotional health over someone else's constant drama. When you stop being the rescuer, you take the first step towards freedom. Freedom from the emotional drain that someone else's victim mentality imposes on you. And that, my friend, is the true act of self-preservation. You'll know when you've encountered this type of woman, not because of what she says, but because of how you feel when you're around her. There's a certain tension in the air. A heaviness that you can't quite place until it hits you. She's addicted to drama. And I'm not talking about the occasional emotional outburst, because, let's face it, we all have our moments of stress or frustration. No, I'm talking about a woman whose entire life is a never-ending cycle of emotional upheaval. One that she orchestrates, performs in, and constantly rewrites. You see, for her, peace isn't just boring, it's suffocating. Calmness, tranquility, and stability are like a straitjacket she can't stand to wear. The moment life around her feels too steady, too predictable, she'll find a way to stir the pot. Suddenly, something as simple as a quiet evening together becomes a battleground over something that should have been a non-issue. A minor disagreement turns into a major conflict, and you're left standing there, emotionally drained, while she seems more energized with every word she throws. This is the second sign you need to watch out for. She thrives on drama. Asterisk. And before you even realize it, you're caught in her web, debating things that shouldn't matter, investing energy into conflicts that lead nowhere. It doesn't take long before you start questioning yourself. Why are you arguing about something so trivial? How did a peaceful moment devolve into this exhausting spectacle? And yet, it's not about the issue at hand. It's about her need for chaos, her need to feel something, anything, because peace feels like a death sentence to her. What makes this so dangerous is that it's almost invisible at first. You'll be swept up in her emotional whirlwind, and before long, you'll find yourself just as caught up in the drama as she is. She might play the victim, she might play the martyr, but in the end, she's the one creating the conflict. She needs it. Without it, she feels invisible, disconnected, and irrelevant. The worst part is, the more you engage, the more she feeds off the drama. You'll find yourself drawn into arguments over nothing, defending your position when you know deep down it's not worth your energy. It's like trying to calm a storm while the wind is howling in your ears. And the more you try to make things right, the more she feeds off your frustration, your anger, your inability to resolve the conflict. Stoic lesson. Seneca once said, an angry man opens his mouth and shuts his eyes. In the context of drama, this couldn't be more accurate. A person addicted to chaos doesn't care about the truth, nor do they care about finding resolution. The only thing they care about is the power they feel when they have you emotionally stirred up. And it's easy to fall into that trap if you don't recognize it for what it is. The solution here isn't to fight fire with fire. It's to distance yourself. Don't engage with the drama. Stay grounded, stay calm, and don't let her pull you into the emotional whirlpool. Remember, you're not obligated to participate in her chaos. Just let the waves crash around you, and choose to stand firm, unaffected. You don't need to fix her. You need to protect your peace. Only when you stop playing the role she's cast you in will you begin to free yourself from the grip of her endless drama. Guilt is an incredibly potent weapon. Some women know this all too well, and they use it like a finely tuned instrument, pulling at the strings of your emotions until they have you exactly where they want you. At first, it might seem innocent enough. She gets upset because you canceled plans, or because you took a little time for yourself. Nothing too alarming. It feels like a small, temporary disappointment, something you can easily fix with a quick apology. But here's where it gets dangerous. That look of disappointment, that subtle shift in her expression, starts to haunt you. It's like a weight that presses down on your chest, making you question your every move. You begin to wonder if she's right, if you're being selfish or inconsiderate, even when you know deep down that you're simply taking care of yourself. And just like that, you're caught in a cycle. The guilt starts to build, and before long, you find yourself rearranging your plans, canceling your commitments, and saying yes to things that don't even align with your personal goals or values. All of this just to avoid that sinking, uncomfortable feeling, the feeling of disappointing her, the feeling that you're somehow responsible for her unhappiness. It doesn't matter what your own needs are, because the weight of her disappointment overshadows everything else. This is the power of guilt manipulation. It's not about love, care, or even healthy communication. It's about control. Over time, This manipulation becomes her currency, and the more you give, the more she demands. Every sacrifice you make, every decision you change, every piece of yourself you give up to please her, she takes as a sign of your commitment. But what she's really doing is hollowing you out. You lose yourself, slowly but surely, until one day, you can't remember the last time you did something that was truly for you. The guilt has taken over, and it's the only thing guiding your actions. Stoic lesson. Epictetus once said, no man is free who is not master of himself. These words ring truer than ever in this situation. When you allow guilt to control your decisions, you surrender your freedom. You let someone else dictate your choices, your life, your happiness. You're no longer living for yourself. You're living for the validation, the approval, and the constant reassurance of someone else. And in doing so, you lose the very essence of who you are. The solution here is not to engage in a battle with her. You don't need to argue or fight back. The solution lies in setting firm boundaries that are based on your reason, your values, and your own well-being, not on the fear of disappointing someone else. A Stoic man remains still, calm, and resolute in his own values. He doesn't bend or break just because someone else is trying to manipulate his emotions. He stands firm in his freedom, and that's the key to breaking free from the grip of guilt manipulation, reclaiming control over your own choices, standing firm in your own self-worth, and saying no when you need to. Guilt no longer holds the power over you. You hold the power to live on your own terms. When life hits hard, when you're facing the kind of struggle that tests your very soul, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a battle with illness, or financial turmoil, you expect to have people by your side. People who will listen, comfort, and offer support. But there's a type of woman who will fail you when you need her most. The one who lacks empathy. And make no mistake, this is not just a momentary lapse in understanding. This is a fundamental flaw in her character, one that will reveal itself when you are at your lowest point. You'll turn to her, hoping for a listening ear, a shoulder to lean on. You'll share your pain, your fears, the weight of your troubles, only to have her dismiss it as something insignificant. Maybe she'll change the subject, redirecting the conversation back to herself, or perhaps she'll offer empty words that don't even touch the surface of what you're experiencing. You'll realize that it's not because she doesn't understand, it's because she doesn't care. Your pain is nothing more than an inconvenience, something that takes her focus away from her own life. And the worst part is that you'll see it in her eyes. She's not just uninterested. She's indifferent. You've become a burden in her eyes, rather than someone worthy of her compassion. This lack of empathy can be a slow burn. At first, you might shrug it off, thinking maybe she's having a bad day or isn't equipped to handle deep emotions. But as time goes on, the pattern becomes undeniable. Whenever you need someone to lean on, she's nowhere to be found, or worse, she's already found a way to make the situation about her. It might start small, but it snowballs into something much more damaging. Because the truth is, when you're going through something tough, you need someone who can walk alongside you. Someone who understands that empathy is not a luxury but a necessity. Stoic lesson. **** Marcus Aurelius, in his wisdom, once said, ***, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, and this applies to relationships as well. If someone cannot empathize with you during hard times, they are not the person you need by your side. Empathy is not something that can be coaxed out of someone. It's not a skill you can teach or a behavior you can demand. It either exists in a person or it doesn't. When you realize that she lacks the capacity to meet you with compassion, it's not a sign of weakness to walk away. It's a sign of strength. You owe it to yourself to surround yourself with people who can stand beside you, not only in your triumphs but also in your pain. If she can't offer you empathy when you need it most, it's time to move on. There's no place for a person like that in your life, not when you deserve someone who will be there for you through thick and thin. Compassion is a fundamental part of any meaningful connection, and if she cannot provide that, it's not just a red flag, it's a wake-up call. Don't waste your time trying to force empathy out of someone who can't give it. Recognize the signs, and choose to move forward with people who truly care. At first, it might seem innocent, a few nice things here and there, a taste for luxury, maybe even a desire to impress. Everyone has their desires, right? But for her, this desire quickly spirals into something more. Her obsession with superficial things grows until it consumes everything. It's not about having a few nice possessions. It's about the constant need to flaunt them, to show the world that she's reached a certain status. She craves attention, validation, and the admiration that comes with material wealth. Every possession is not just a personal achievement, it's a trophy. Something to boast about, a way to prove her worth to everyone around her. It starts small. Just little comments about what's new in her wardrobe, the latest gadget she's acquired, or the vacation she just came back from. But over time, it becomes more demanding. She compares herself to others constantly, always checking her social media to see how her life measures up against the next person's. If someone has something she doesn't, the jealousy and resentment are palpable. She's never content, always wanting more, never satisfied with what she has because the chase is never ending. It's not about fulfilling a need or even enjoying the things she has. It's about showing them off, about seeking validation from others. And here's where it gets toxic. Her obsession with materialism starts to define your relationship. Suddenly, your worth as a partner is no longer about your character, your values, or your connection. It's about how well you can keep up with her standards, how much you can provide, and what you can show the world. The love and care that should be the foundation of your relationship are overshadowed by the pursuit of possessions and status symbols. What you have together doesn't matter as much as what you can display to the outside world. She values the image, not the reality. This is when you start to lose yourself. You'll find yourself sacrificing peace, happiness, and even your own values just to keep up with her materialistic desires. You're no longer living for what makes you both happy. You're living for what others see, what others think, and the more you try to give her, the more she demands, because nothing is ever enough. It's an exhausting cycle, one that slowly erodes your peace and self-worth. Stoic lesson. Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions but in having few wants. The more you chase external things to satisfy her desires, the more you lose yourself in the process. The truth is, external things, whether it's the car, the house, the clothes, are all indifferent. They don't define who you are or what your relationship is. What matters, what truly defines you, is your character, your virtue, and your ability to remain grounded in who you are. If your life is constantly defined by the need to meet someone else's materialistic standards, you'll never find peace. You'll be running a race that never ends, always striving for something that can never truly satisfy. It's time to recognize that the pursuit of material wealth and superficial status will never bring the fulfillment or happiness you deserve. What truly matters is how you carry yourself, how you treat others, and the strength of your character. If she can't see that, then it's time to step back and reevaluate what you're really chasing in life. True wealth doesn't lie in what you have. It lies in who you were and how you live. And if she can't understand that, then you deserve someone who values you for the depth of your soul, not the size of your wallet. There's a certain type of woman who, when confronted with her mistakes, refuses to acknowledge them. In the heat of an argument, when the facts are laid out before her, instead of accepting responsibility, she will twist the narrative. It doesn't matter how clear the evidence is, she will find a way to make herself appear right. No matter what, this isn't just a small flaw in her character. It's a fundamental inability to own up to her actions. And it manifests as a deep-rooted refusal to learn, to grow, or to acknowledge that she's ever wrong. You can see this pattern clearly when you try to address an issue that's been bothering you, only to have her deflect and change the subject. Instead of engaging with the issue at hand, she'll make the conversation about you, how you're attacking her character, how you always react this way, how you never understand her. It's never about the mistake she made or the issue you're trying to resolve. It's about putting the blame back on you, redirecting the conversation so that she can maintain control over the narrative. This behavior can be maddening. You'll find yourself trapped in a cycle of explaining, trying to prove your point, showing her where she went wrong, only to have her refuse to see it. She'll turn the argument into an emotional battle, leaving you exhausted, frustrated, and questioning whether it's even worth engaging anymore. But no matter how much you plead with her to take responsibility, she'll never admit she's wrong. It's not that she doesn't know she's wrong, it's that she's too proud, too unwilling to admit it. This creates a toxic dynamic in your relationship. Every disagreement becomes a power struggle, a fight for control, instead of an opportunity for growth or understanding. It's exhausting to constantly be in a relationship where you can never have a mature, honest conversation, And the worst part is that over time, you'll start doubting yourself. You'll begin to wonder if maybe it's you who's always in the wrong. Even though deep down you know you're not. Her refusal to admit mistakes doesn't just strain your relationship. It undermines your confidence and your ability to trust yourself. Stoic lesson. Marcus Aurelius once said, if anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective. I'll gladly change it. This is the hallmark of a true Stoic, an openness to correction, to learning, and to growing from mistakes. A Stoic man understands that acknowledging one's flaws and mistakes is not a sign of weakness but a path to wisdom. However, when someone can't admit they're wrong, when they refuse to accept responsibility for their actions, the relationship becomes less about mutual growth and more about a battle for control. And that's where things break down. Humility is a key element of personal growth, and if she refuses to learn or grow, no matter how many opportunities you give her to do so, it's time to walk away. A relationship where both partners cannot admit their mistakes is doomed to be a constant power struggle, leaving you both stuck in a cycle of conflict with no resolution. If she can't meet you halfway and own up to her wrongs, it's better to free yourself from the emotional drain and find someone who values honesty, growth, and humility as much as you do. Time is a finite resource. Unlike money, success, or material possessions, time is something you can never get back once it's gone. And when you're in a relationship with a woman who consistently disrespects your time, the damage is far deeper than just being inconvenienced. It starts subtly. She's late for your dates, cancels plans last minute, or keeps you waiting while she takes her time to get ready or finish whatever else she's doing. At first, you might overlook it. Maybe she had a busy day, or maybe there was traffic. We all have moments where things don't go according to plan. But then, it starts to happen more often. The delays become routine. The cancellations turn into frequent occurrences, and you're left feeling like your time no longer matters to her. The problem with this pattern is that it's not just about being late or canceling plans. It's about a deeper level of disrespect, a lack of recognition that your time is just as valuable as hers. She's sending the message, whether intentionally or not, that her time is more important, and yours is expendable. Slowly but surely, you begin to feel like you're always waiting for her, like your plans are always secondary to whatever she's doing. It's a slow erosion of your self-worth, because if someone values you, they respect your time. They understand that time spent together is time shared, and that's a precious gift. Over time, this disrespects your entire relationship. It's not just about waiting around for her. It's about the feeling of being unimportant, of being taken for granted. It's draining, emotionally and mentally. You start adjusting your own schedule to accommodate hers, always putting her needs and time ahead of your own, even when it's not convenient for you. The imbalance grows, and with it, the resentment, because deep down, you know that if she truly cared about you and your relationship, she would make the effort to be present, to show up on time, and to respect your time as much as she expects you to respect hers. But she doesn't, and that's when the real harm begins. Stoic lesson. Seneca wisely wrote, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. When someone disrespects your time, they're essentially wasting your life, one moment at a time. Every minute you spend waiting for someone who doesn't value you is a minute you'll never get back. And the longer you let it happen, the more you enable this behavior, the more you lose yourself in a pattern of constant disappointment. The solution to this is simple. Respect your time fiercely. Time is your most valuable asset, and once you realize that, you'll stop allowing people to take it for granted. If someone can't see the value of your time, then it's time to walk away. You don't owe anyone an explanation or a second chance when they consistently show that they don't respect you or your time. Time wasted is life wasted, and you deserve more than a relationship that drains you and leaves you constantly waiting. Take control of your time, respect it, and if she can't do the same, then it's time to move on. As we reflect on the 7 signs we've explored, it's clear that they aren't just red flags, they're urgent calls for self-preservation. Life is far too precious to allow toxic people to define the quality of your existence. Each of these signs reveals a deeper pattern of behavior that, if left unchecked, can drain your energy, undermine your self-worth, and leave you emotionally exhausted. You don't have to tolerate this kind of treatment, and you certainly don't need to carry the burden of someone else's toxicity. Stoic wisdom teaches us that the key to inner peace is not about controlling others, but about controlling ourselves. It's about setting clear boundaries that protect our time, our energy, and our emotional well-being. The more we respect ourselves, the less we tolerate the behaviors that chip away at our peace. We can't change other people, but we can choose how we respond to them. We can choose to walk away from relationships that don't serve us, that leave us feeling drained, unimportant, or unheard. There's immense power in choosing peace. When we learn to recognize toxic patterns, whether it's a woman who constantly plays the victim, manipulates through guilt, disrespects our time, or refuses to take responsibility for her actions, we are called to take action. Not out of anger or resentment, but out of self-love and respect. Self-preservation is not selfish, it's necessary. And when you finally step away from toxic people, you create space in your life for those who truly value you, who bring positivity, empathy, and authenticity into your world. It can be difficult, I know. The pull of guilt, fear of confrontation, or fear of being alone can be overwhelming. But you don't have to go through life carrying these toxic people with you. By setting firm boundaries and sticking to them, you not only protect yourself but also model for others how they should treat you. And in doing so, you begin to attract healthier relationships, ones based on mutual respect, love, and genuine connection. Remember, life is too short to waste on people who don't deserve your time, your energy, or your attention. Your peace and well-being are priceless. Don't let anyone compromise that. You are worthy of a life filled with people who uplift you, who support you, and who truly care about your happiness. If you've learned something valuable today, I encourage you to subscribe, leave a comment, and share your experiences. I'd love to hear how you've set boundaries in your own life and how it's impacted you. Remember, wisdom and peace come from within, and they're worth guarding fiercely. Never forget to protect both.